Hi friends, in the last video I talked about developing a great relationship with children, and in the last video I talked about developing a good relationship with your children as a baby, as a young child. Up to that point I talked. Once they entered the teenage, it is a totally different ball game of the relationship with the teenage child, whether it is a boy or a girl. I told in the last video that I will talk about developing a great relationship with a teenage child and an adult when your child finally becomes an adult, how to maintain a great relationship with that adult. Those two things I am about to talk now in this video. Now let us talk about your child entering the teenage. Teenage is, psychology says, the most difficult phase in the lifespan development of a human being. Why this is so? As a baby, it has challenges. As a young child, it has challenges. And at every stage, the human being, as a baby or as a child, has to resolve the developmental challenges and enter the next stage. Then only it can develop fully. Now, when the child enters the teenage, what happens is, it is the teenage is a stage between young child and an adult. That's a very crucial transformation stage. In the teenage, the child faces an identity crisis. What does it mean? The child is trying to make out what I am. What exactly should my relationship with this outside world, my immediate family, my parents, my friends, and every other person. What exactly is my relationship with them? What should I do and what should I not do? How to decide? Up to that point, parents are in control of almost everything. They said what you should do, what you should not do. They said what is right and what is wrong. They decided everything for you. Now the child begins to realize his own individuality and start questioning everything. Why should the parents should control me? Why should I listen to them? All these thoughts crop up. But the thing is, the teenage child is not young enough to completely submit himself or herself to the control of the parents. And it is not adult enough to assert itself and break away from the control of the parents. That presents a formidable challenge to the teenage boy or girl. Then what happens is, you all might have observed, the teenage children will fight a lot with their parents. Whatever you say, they say no. They don't listen to you. And sometimes even they may do exactly the opposite of what you say. They don't tell you anything. They don't share with you. Then for parents also it becomes a big challenge to how to manage the teenage children. The parents are very much afraid that teenage is an age where they lack maturity and they are prone to a number of attractions, and they may fall in wrong ways of life, wrong habits, involve themselves with the wrong people. This is the worry uppermost in the minds of the parents when they try to increase their control over the children. And that becomes a bigger problem and a vicious circle. The more they try to exert their control, the more the tendency of the teenage child to break away from it. So how to solve this riddle? How to manage the teenage children? Here you must note one thing. The relationship you enjoy with your teenage child has not begun on that day when your child entered teenage. It began much before. When he was a baby, when he was a young child, there was a relationship. How successfully you worked out that relationship will definitely have some influence on your influence on the teenage boy or girl. It means you should work out your relationship right from the babyhood. Whether you are sincerely attending to their needs, when you are showing the required love and affection to them, and you are not being partial to one child when compared to the other child. You are appreciating them when they do a good deed. And when they did something wrong, you are not persecuting them and you are not scolding them, but you are correcting them. You should be seen clearly as correcting them, and whatever you are doing in the best interests of the child. That impression, even as a baby or a young child, they are smart enough to gather that impression. But here don't worry. If you go wrong, even if you go wrong, you are doing with right intentions and without any not good intentions, the child will be able to see clearly. There is no worry about it. Try to be your best. Try to work on yourself. See, if you want a great relationship with your child, first you must have a good relationship with yourself. You must set your thinking right. You must think a bit clearly. You should keep an open mind and keep learning, updating your knowledge, everything. That will help you a lot in exerting the required influence on your teenage child and helping him to steer the most turbulent phase of their life, teenage, successfully, and retaining your good relationship with them also will happen then. So, when you are dealing with a teenage child, don't try to bully them. Don't try to talk to them as you were talking earlier before they entered the teenage. No, they don't appreciate it. Now you should be more like a friend. Why a teenage girl or boy never says anything to their parents but talks everything to their friends? Simple reason. Their friends listen to them. And you parents, many of them, not all, don't listen to them. Because you are not sure of your response when they say something. You are afraid of facing the facts. So you try to avoid them. When you try to avoid facing facts, naturally they won't speak to you. Face the facts, however harsh they are, so that you have an opportunity to correct them. That is very important. That is how you can help a teenage child to develop a clear thinking, to develop an identity, to develop a sense of discerning what is right and what is wrong. Then they will relatively smoothly pass through their teenage and become a healthy adult, a good adult, maybe a great adult. Now, once they are through the teenage, they have become the adults. They want to make their decisions in work, in life, in love, in marriage. Then, your role is to advise them whatever you think is the best, and to guide them, explaining what are the problems you are seeing in the decisions they presented to you for your consideration or for just information. Even if they present their decisions, important decisions to you, even though for the sake of just information and no action, even then you consider yourself fortunate, because the very reason they are presenting to you the information regarding their decision before taking a decision is that they want to get your advice for whatever it is. They may take your advice or don't take your advice and proceed with their decision. But still, they want to have the benefit of consulting you and taking your advice because they consider it as valuable. So recognize that. Appreciate it. Even if you don't agree with their decisions, say clearly why you are not agreeing with their decisions, what is the problem you are seeing with it, and leave it. Don't force them. Let them take their decision. Let them make their life. Maybe you are wrong, or maybe they are wrong. But after all, that is life. You can't help it. But at the same time, you are preserving your relationship with your children. Even an adult child, even if your child is an adult, you are preserving the relationship, because just because Your boy had not agreed to your proposal or your decision. You are not behaving erratically, or you are not spoiling your relationship with your child. He may be your child, but once he become an adult, you must accept the fact that that is where you should stop. That is where you should start respecting him as an adult, equal adult, and let him take his decisions. Let him face his life. That is life. Life is full of challenges. Maybe you are wrong, he is right. Fine. What more you want? As a parent, you want his happiness or her happiness as a child. Not that your word should be the uppermost. No. If you think on those lines, my word should prevail, you are wrong. And you will face the music. No escape from it. Next important stage. When your son got married, whether it is a love marriage or as an arranged marriage, your son got married. He started his family life. Distance yourself. Let him take his own decisions. Give an advice only if he wants. Or keep yourself away from interfering with his decisions. If you know something may go wrong, he did not approach you for decision or for your suggestion or advice, then in exceptional situations, even if your boy did not ask for your advice, you may give your advice. After all, with a good intention, you are giving the advice. He may not take it, it's okay. But you have the satisfaction of giving your advice. But in that course, you may feel that if my advice is rejected, I may feel bad. No, there is no need to feel bad. If you feel bad, that is your problem. Because you did not feel bad. You have given a good advice with a good intention. It is up to him to take it or not take it. Where is the question of your prestige involved here? Nothing. So, that is the best way of dealing with your married child. I will tell you one thing. Even if you are a bad mother, if your child is maintaining a good relationship and doing everything to make you happy, the credit goes to your child, not you. I will tell you, and I know that there is no bad mother or bad father. Here what happens is, see, mother is a post. The post is filled by a person. A person with all his limitations, with all her limitations, her problems, her personality issues. She becomes a mother. Then what happens? The post of a mother is good or as bad as the person that fills that post. When our culture, our epics, everything eulogized mother, it is the great responsibility and the greatness of the post of mother they kept in mind. Don't be mistaken. You cannot become a great person just by sitting in the post of the mother. You have to be a great person. Then only a great person only can become a great mother. That is a very important point to note. Of course, the same thing applies even to father. And now, another challenge comes when your child is married and getting along with his family affairs and everything. Parents, in most cases it happens in the case of mother. They don't want to lose control of their child, boy or girl. So they want to make their presence felt in some way or the other. That is the starting point of a number of problems. Once you know that your child got married, it is his own life. Never think of getting control. It is a very bad idea. Most parents, mostly mothers, do this mistake. They still want to exert their control on their son, on their daughter-in-law. If it is their daughter, on their daughter, on their son-in-law. This spoils relations very severely. And I know a very important reason in marital discord and marital problems is the influence from parents and parents-in-law, mother-in-law or sister-in-law. If the outside influence, whether from the parents or from the parents-in-law, comes into play, that actually complicates the problems between the wife and husband. Only when they are able to free themselves from external influence, whether it is of parents or parents-in-law or even their close friends, and only if they are to assess the relationship and the relationship problems for themselves and work on them without being influenced by any other outsider, they will be able to solve the problems. If not solve the problems, they will definitely come to a satisfactory working arrangement. So, if you really want to see your child happy as an adult with his family, think that your role as a parent is over. You need not look for the control. Just remember, when they are young children and babies, many parents, I'm not saying all, many parents, instead of enjoying it, the tough tasks involved in child upbringing, they feel it as a burden, and they behave as if they are discharging a burden, not their duty. Now, when the children became adults and they want to break free from your control and start their own life without your interference, you are thinking that you are losing control. There is a paradox in thinking, and that is a wrong way of thinking. Please correct that thinking. Then you will enjoy your responsibility, not feeling it as a burden. And when it is done, you happily forego the control when you don't require it anymore. That is why in our Hindu culture, our people beautifully gave ashrama dharmas. That means what? First stage is brahmacharya. That means what? The main meaning of brahmacharya is focus. Focus on whatever is required for you at that stage. What is required for you at that stage? Acquire knowledge, wisdom, and proficiency to live life. And you may be getting married, and if you want to raise a family, you must equip yourself to provide them necessary things of life and comfort for you and for your family. Focus on that. Learn. That is the stage of brahmacharya. Then afterwards, grihastha ashrama. Then he gets married, gets wife, children, everything. Grihastha ashrama. Fine. Now you are living the life of a family man. Do your duty. Do everything you can and you should to your family. Bring your children. Bring up your children. Give them the right culture, education. And then, once they got married, leave them. The next stage they prescribed is vanaprastha ashrama. What means vanaprastha means what? Go to forest. They said go to forest. They know it. When you are here, you will definitely interfere with the life of your children and play spoil sport. So they advised you to go to forest. In the modern days, you need not go to forests. Keep yourself away from them. That is the essence. When they told you to go to forests, symbolical. Keeping away from them. Even if you are living in the same house, keep away. Don't interfere. Give them advice if they want. Be present if they want your presence. Otherwise, keep away. Vanaprastha. Then, this vanaprastha is a preparatory to the next stage, sannyasa. What they meant by sannyasa? You need not wear saffron robes and wander like monks. No, not necessary. Sannyasa is renouncing your all avoidable connections, all your trouble causing ways of thinking, and make yourself lonely. Lonely in the sense you turn inward to yourself, Focus on yourself. What is the purpose of life? Are there certain higher things to be achieved? Higher things to understand? Appreciate the beauty of human life. All these things. You contemplate yourself. This will not happen if you completely involve yourself in the crowds and the people. This happens only when you are introspecting yourself, focusing on yourself, meditating on yourself. That is sannyasa. You know, sannyasa is preparation for the next stage. What is the next stage? You are going to leave this world. You are not permanent in this world. You are just a traveler. You have certain responsibilities. You have certain golden years to enjoy life on this earth with all the challenges and achievements. So prepare yourself to leave this world with dignity. It is not how you lived that determines your value. It is not how you died. It is not how you started your life. It is how you reach the end of life. That makes all the difference. When you leave this world, let at least some people remember you with a smile on their face, with a gratitude in their hearts, that here is a person who told some good words to me when I needed and helped me when I required it most. If that could happen, what else we want? Thank you.